and welcome to episode 178 of
The Eldritch Podblast.
I am Margaret.
I am Jack.
And we are a Dungeons & Dragons podcast where we focus on the social aspect of D&D.
We give out advice to players and dungeon masters old and new.
And most importantly, we believe in creating a safe, inclusive, and welcoming space in the TTRPG community.
So if that sounds good to you, welcome.
Come on in!
Come on in!
It's Jack's birthday today!
Bum, 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 ba-dum, ba-dum, bum.
At time of filming, at least.
Oh yeah, today, physically
today,
right now.
Friday the 18th of
I am
October.
in.
It's Jack's birthday.
It is, yes.
He's ancient.
I am ancient. I'm 31.
He is. 31
that feels
years.
old.
He is young, baby.
31, yeah, as I said in the Discord. 31 days young, baby.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
I hope you have a wonderful day.
Thank you. So far it's been pretty good. I haven't done much.
Last night, he was like, the bargaining actually, you never bargain for your presents, ever.
No, and it wasn't a bargaining. It wasn't a bargaining. So you had mentioned playing Valorant again today,
Yes.
last night. And I was like, okay, so I have a full-sized keyboard, like with the number pad on the right, and it's very big, and it means I can only have my mouse mat so close, so it's further off to the right. And I've always wanted a 3/4 keyboard.
Yeah, and then mechanical keyboard.
A mechanical 3/4 keyboard, so I can have my mouse closer, because it helps with aiming in Valorant. And I knew that was one thing that you were going to get me, and I think I knew that was one thing that had turned up, so I was like, hey, I was like, tomorrow we're going to be filming, I'll need to edit, like, before we stream, and then we're streaming at 6, so I was like, so I'm not going to have a huge amount of time to enjoy birthday.
Yeah.
We're having a day off on Thursday, day off on Saturday, regular scheduled program on Friday, which is my birthday, so I was like, hey, how about I just open all my birthday presents now? Because if we're playing Valorant, it means I can
use
use
the
keyboard.
So, well, the bargaining actually started before that, really, because I was like, when do you want to open your presents? Because I was like, do you want to open them midnight?
Yeah.
Or do you want to wait till the next day? And you were like, midnight's good. And then it just crept earlier. So you opened them yesterday.
Yeah, I opened them last night at about 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock.
Yeah. Which I think was the right choice.
We didn't even play Valorant.
We didn't play Valorant.
We got on and you were like, don't know, I can be bothered.
I can't be bothered to do anything tonight, actually. Yeah.
But I played a little bit of Deadlock with Jordan and Wabs.
Yep.
And then we watched the 3 episodes of the Vox Machina.
The next 3 episodes. It was what?
7, 8, and 9.
7, 8, 9, wasn't it? Yeah.
Which were great.
Yeah.
This season of Vox Machina has been great. Every season of Vox Machina has been great.
I completely agree. Yeah,
but
totally.
I've really enjoyed this one. I think it's been really good.
I totally agree.
I will say I think this is the one that diverts from the actual story the most.
Yeah, you know what? Understandably.
Yeah, and the thing is, I never wanted, when they did Legends of Vox Machina, for it to be true.
Yeah.
Because
it's what makes for the best cohesive story.
As long as the essence of the story is there. And it is.
Totally.
It is there.
And you know what? Like, again, I know that there's going to be so many people who are like, this isn't accurate to what the actual play was. But it's like, you also have to think they're the people who created the actual Let's Play. So it's theirs. It's their story to tell, honestly.
I know it's like, we feel like it's ours, but at the end of the day, it is theirs. It's always like the actual play is theirs. Everything is theirs.
Yeah, and gosh, when you adapt something like that, I can only assume for something like television, where you have, 12 episodes, 30 minutes each, you have to condense.
You gotta tell, hundreds and hundreds of hours of story in. Well, what is it? It's like 20 minutes, or like 3 episodes is basically an hour. Yeah. Probably just over. So that's 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. Basically about 4 hours.
Yeah.
5 in total, maybe.
Which is the length of one session.
One session. One session in campaign 1 definitely went over 5 hours.
Oh, yeah.
Especially early on.
Yeah,
I bet. Because Matt always was like, I want to get to this point and stuff like that. He would like push through.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah.
Totally.
Wild.
Yeah, like, and absolutely not the same thing, but even when we're going over my campaign notes for our campaign updates on Patreon, there's things that the notes chronologically don't make sense. So we have moved things around a little bit just for them to make the most coherent sense for someone who was not at the table, who would not understand otherwise, you know? Like, I get it. I totally get it. How we start talking about that?
We just said we were going to watch Legends of Vox Machina. We said we watched Legends of Vox Machina last night.
Yes.
Yeah.
And we're streaming tonight. We're doing Smash or Pass 2 with your D&D characters.
Smash or Pass 2 with your D&D characters.
So, yeah, happy birthday. I hope you have a great day.
I've had a great day, yeah.
Good.
I had a great day yesterday. I'm having a great day today. I'll probably have a great day tomorrow, I imagine. Yeah. And then on Sunday, we're doing the one-shot.
Gosh,
Our
yeah.
campaign finished this week.
Yeah, gosh. You know what? Very intense week for you as a dungeon master specifically, I feel.
When I realized where we were in the story and when we planned the one shot, I came into this week and I was like, I was like, I have all of the normal things I need to do, but I also need to plan the last session of my campaign.
Yep.
It is my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
We're doing Smash Up Pass 2,
mm-hmm.
and we've got the one shot.
Oh, we're the one shot. Yeah.
So, it's been a lot, but it's been good.
Yeah.
It's been
yeah.
good.
You know, and again, our campaign's finished. At the time you see this, we'll be having our wrap-up session on the Wednesday.
Yeah, in 2 days from now.
So the actual story's finished.
Yeah.
And the story ended perfectly. Like, I can't stress enough. We'll talk about it, you know, more freely once we've given our patrons like an update. But it ended perfectly.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited to see what the rest of our characters, those who survived lives, look like. And going into the next campaign, which is a continuous world, I'm excited to see how that's shaped it all.
I told Matthew that he's not allowed to tell me. Like, we came to the end of the campaign, and I was like, so think about what you want to do, like, going forward. And I was like, Matthew, you cannot kill your character off. I was like, you can. It has to be in the next 20 years, though. You can't tell me.
And that's going to have huge ramifications.
Yeah, it's going to have huge ramifications on the story. I was like, it's, you know, it means... Because Matthew likes to get to the end of the thingy, and then he's like, oh, this is what I say on my deathbed, and I'm going to get Margaret's character to kill mine in battle so I can go to Valhalla and stuff like that. And I was like, this time, I was like, it's the next 20 years. You can't say things like that. Unless it's, like, genuinely in your plan to die in the next 20 years or something like that.
Yeah.
But you have to... tell me that, and then that's it. It's like,
and then you gotta live with it.
That's it. It's like, it's not, you don't have to live with it, but they become NPCs.
Yeah, well, exactly. You know, he would have to live in a world where if he chose for Marcus to die, which he very well could do, by the way,
his husband and his children.
Yeah, you know, they're gonna have to go into the next campaign. You know, not them, obviously, but you know what? Me and Abby were talking about this like last night. Me and Abby, we were chatty gals last night. We talked about the next campaign a lot. And we were talking about it's going to be so strange, us as players knowing what has gone on, knowing what happened in Thruandth on those months, and then seeing the world after the fact through completely new lenses of people who were never involved.
You don't know?
Yeah, our characters don't know.
You might know bits, and you might know like what, like let's just say, you know. Like those tales have been told down of like the heroes
and, you know,
that went into
20 years isn't really
Thruandth.
That long in the grand scheme of something like that happening.
I mean, it is. It's a long time.
Yeah,
it is a long time. I think 20 years is a long time.
Yeah.
2 decades.
Yeah. It's like, you know, the thing is, I try to put it in real life terms of things like, you know, big world events that happen for us. For example, like 9/11. You know, that was something that happened, 20 years ago?
Yeah.
God, I can't even...
More than that, innit?
Yeah, 2001, was it? So, you know, and that's something that, gosh, we can all remember. All of us remember where we were when we heard the news of that. And, you know, that equally feels like a millennia ago, and equally feels like a few years, you know? So if you put that into terms, you know, I know it doesn't work like that in game, but, you know, like, it's that's the kind of clarification that it gives me when I try, because I'm really bad at perceiving, honestly perceiving time.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's like not everyone probably knew.
No,
like in the world,
I think barely anyone knew.
I mean, the people probably of this continent knew.
Yeah, of course, but you know,
maybe far beyond that, there was maybe like whisperings and rumors, but
yeah, and really, you have to think the city was only like that for about a year at best, you know?
Yeah,
like, probably not even that.
Probably about 9 months.
Yeah. You know, which, you know, is a little blip of time considering, you know, in the grand scheme of things, right? Yeah. So, yeah, gosh, so exciting. I'm so excited for the next campaign. Like I said, this is the first time a campaign has ended, and I felt really good about it. Yeah. I felt really positive, and I'm excited for the future. I'm normally dreading it.
Yeah, I said to you, didn't I was like, because I feel like this campaign was the first time I truly like found my dungeon master style, like low prep combats, maybe some speeches, things like that was all I truly like prepped. I've finished this campaign, and normally when I finish other campaigns, I'm like there is a sense of relief when you get to the end, like
of course, a
little bit of time off planning.
Yeah, and you know my story's come to an end.
Yeah, but this time because I didn't feel really any burnout at all about DMing. these long-term campaigns, I've come to the end and I'm like, I'm already excited for the next one.
Yeah.
Which usually I'm like, I'm still gonna take my time off and take my
so.
break
I
and
think
like
you should.
let Matthew run something, and
Totally.
we're gonna do the one shot to film for you all and stuff like
mhm.
that. But in terms of like how I feel, I've never felt this like already raring to go.
Like invigorated from it. Yeah, totally. And that's great. That's a great thing.
Which is
and
cool.
you know, I think taking some time off, even if you don't feel it right now, will be good for you. And,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
it'll give you,
guarantee.
you know, like a fresh perspective on everything. And, you know, Matthew loves to run a one shot in between. And I think it's nice for you just to be a player.
Yeah.
Just for a little
I don't
bit.
like being a player. I don't like being a player in a long-term campaign. But
No.
every now and then I do like to just
Yeah,
like build some stuff and
I'm conscious that I'm
just
touching this.
How about that?
If I seem to be speaking weird, by the way, it's because I woke up with a really bad headache.
No.
And I don't want to. I'm trying not to. Trying not to laugh.
Oh my god! Stop laughing so much.
So
you never stop laughing.
But I can feel that the painkillers are kicking in actually. So
good.
Just so you know,
yeah.
I'm not being.
Your pupils dilate.
I'm not intentionally being
straight into the Matrix.
Stop. Sorry, how are you? Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. We you know what? I wanted to get in straight away that it was your birthday, and then we just ended up rambling from there.
Talking about DnD.
And hey,
oh who'd have thought?
Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Who would have thought that on our podcast we'd talk in the intro for things that we care about?
We got wrap up session next week, and then that's it.
Indeed.
And then probably take a little bit of time off, and then let Matthew do his, and then film the one shot.
Yeah.
For the campaign 2's sort of wrap up that we said we would come to.
I think after Sunday it will have already happened for you. By the time we do our 2-player one shot, I think by that point we'll have a good idea if that's something we truly want to pursue, you know?
Yeah.
Like actually televising, putting out something filmed, you know? Yeah. I think that will give us a really good perspective. Again, time is a weird soup. It will have already happened for you and we'll have the decision by then, but you know. Now is a really great time to join our Patreon. I know I say it all the time. And goodness, you know what? We've had quite a few new people come in.
Yeah.
We had our entity exclusive advice stream where we have a smaller group of people. We go through some advice. There was like 3 or 4 new people there.
So like I've always said with the entity advice, I always wanted it to be a place where we can almost like get our hands on things the Dungeon Masters want and things like that.
Yeah.
So we've had a few people come in with like story beats and like campaign ideas, and we've literally like
we've all cooked, I must say.
It and like built out like and fleshed out portions of campaigns.
Yeah, well we read someone's world primer.
Yeah.
And we deconstructed someone's world primer, which by the way, it was Catherine, if you're watching, it was an incredible world primer.
We cooked up some insane ideas for Queen Rose campaign.
We cooked up some insane ideas for Adam's campaign
Adam's
as well.
Next campaign, unreal.
You know what? I always, with the entity campaign, because, you know, we have I think nearly 30 entity patrons, which of course is a lot of people, but not everyone can make it to the live stream.
Yeah.
Every time I'm like, man, how are we going to fill out 4 hours?
We did a great,
easily. By the way, easily.
It was really good, and that's what I always wanted.
Same.
It's like on Twitch. It's like I can't ask you to like send me a world primer
and
you
can't read it out.
So, so many people have advice.
Totally.
So we're trying to, you know, like give you the best advice whilst also not spending too
being
long
conscious
on
about
it.
the time. But I feel like on the entity advice, we can just go honestly forever because we got through 8 questions, the whole stream,
and like I feel like it was. Man, there was some good stuff.
There was some real good stuff. And again, you know, the people who were there, it's exactly like Twitch, if you've ever joined us there. Everyone was weighing in, but we can expand on things slightly more. And it honestly...
Tell you who likes to cook on the entity stream.
Go on.
Hairy Godfather.
Hairy Godfather
likes to cook on the entity stream.
Yeah, he does. He certainly does.
He's got some sick ideas.
Everyone loves to cook.
But he's like raring to give advice.
I agree.
It's so good.
I agree.
So good. I love that stream.
It's such a great time. Not only that, obviously you get the extra advice stream once a month, which is honestly wonderful. Now's a great time to join us even at the Moon Druid tier, which is where you get our campaign updates, because we're coming to the end of this campaign. I don't necessarily know if we're going to get to the final in this last update for this month on the 29th. but it's very soon, basically. And then we're going to be having, Matthew definitely says he will come on. We're going to be doing our session 0 on there. We'll be having our friends come on and doing interviews. Now is a really great time. If you're interested in what actually goes on in our actual D&D games, now's a great time to get involved, to be honest with you.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. Last thing before we get into it, gosh, I feel like we haven't spoken about it at all. Comic-Con.
Holy shit, yeah.
Comic-Con at the end of this month. Oh, you're fine, you're fine. Because when does this video come out? This video comes out on the 21st. Oh, so actually it's a little bit of no, it's not.
Nope.
No,
well,
it's the week. It's the week off.
It's this weekend.
Yeah, we've been so busy with things like September. Honestly, haven't even thought about
Haven't
it.
even thought about Comic-Con, but
No.
we are going.
We are going.
So...
We were very, very graciously gifted creator passes to Comic-Con, so we're going to be there. Maybe some of the Friday evening, depending on how it goes. Definitely the full Saturday. Definitely the full Sunday.
Yeah.
We will be there. We were talking about doing some sort of a meetup. I don't necessarily know if maybe it's too late now to organize something, but
yeah. I mean, last year people just
we will be there basically, and we will be updating, because of the creator pass. We'll be updating things like our TikTok and our Instagram stories as we're going. So yeah, come along, take a look, come say hi if you're there, and with that, should we get into topic?
Let's get it, baby. Thank you so much to all our patrons over at Patreon.
You have no idea how much we appreciate your support.
If you want to support us over at Patreon and gain access to our exclusive content,
like our D&D campaign updates and our extra monthly live streams,
click the link in the description. More about Patreon at the end of this video. Thank you.
All right, so today we are doing this month on Reddit.
Let's go.
This is basically going through the D&D Reddit, searching by top for this month, and taking a look.
About things that go on in the community.
You haven't seen the art pieces at the end.
Oh my goodness gracious me!
I'll show you them before we get on to them at the end. So what we do is I just go. This is one of my favorite episodes because all of these things don't really fit into any of the topics that we talk about. They're just rando things.
They're just stories, good and bad. I think they fit probably most into horror and wholesome stories sometimes.
I agree.
But not always.
Yeah, I agree.
That's strange. I love it. It's like a variety stream.
Yeah. And at the end, we always give a shout out to either a small business or an artist, and we've got 2 artists again at the end of this. So, the first topic is, what do you think is the nerdiest term in D&D?
Oh my god.
And we all know Dungeons and Dragons sounds goofy, but my money is on sorcery points. Because just saying that makes me check to make sure no jocks are around to stuff me into a locker.
My sorcery points.
My sorcery points. I would like to use 2 of my sorcery points to empower my spell.
I was like, oh, that's not too bad. But the more I thought about it, I was like, to refer to yourself as a sorcerer.
Oh my god, yeah.
And then the stipulation that there's sorcery points.
No, I don't think. What I think. I think another one that gives me the fear a little bit is artificer infusions.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's like I would like to tinker. I would like. Can I just tinker in my downtime? Roll me a tinker's check. Oh, God.
You know what? I agree. The artificial infusion. I mean, the infusion sounds like a fucking evolution or something like that.
Digilution or whatever it's called.
Like infusion, tinker.
Tinker check. Can you roll me a tinker check?
No.
No.
Yeah, I don't like tinker check.
I don't like tinker check
at all.
I'm not a big fan of the tinker check.
No. The next.
What else is there?
Well, I have a good few.
Go on.
Unless you have any more.
Well, I think I don't think I could top a tinker check.
My RA laughed at me for saying I'm a dungeon master.
My RA? What's RA?
Someone, it's an American thing where it's someone who lives on the campus to make sure all the students are okay.
All right, okay.
Like, what is it? Resident assistant, I think.
Dungeon master.
You know
I'm
what?
the dungeon master.
Dungeon master. Listen.
Nah, no, like.
No, Dungeon Master is mine.
Is
Dungeon
it?
Master is my absolutely nerdiest term.
I'm the dungeon master.
Oh,
Break it down.
It's so
the
funny.
master of dungeons.
it's so funny from the outside looking in. You'd be like, "That's the cringest thing," but on the inside,
it's like, oh
everyone's
my god,
like,
you're the
"No, they're
DM.
the dungeon master."
Oh my god. Oh my god.
What are you talking about? No, don't say that. They're the dungeon master.
The next example of Dungeon Master is Dungeon Master, the worst. My wonderful wife keeps telling people I'm a Dungeon Master. I hate it. Oh yeah, he's our Dungeon Master.
He's our dungeon master.
He's our Dungeon Master.
He's our dungeon master.
He's
by
our
the way.
Dungeon Master. The next one is prestidigitation.
Prestidigitation?
Yeah.
It's a bit of. Do you know what?
That's
It's
so nerdy.
what prestidigitation?
Come on,
I-
even just saying
I
it.
get
Prestidigitation.
Prestidigitation.
You say that, and people are going to be like, "My coffee table's floating now. Thank you."
It's like when they had that. It's like when they had that segment of Boris Johnson. Do you remember? Where somebody asked him a question and he clearly doesn't know how to answer it, so he goes, just like, bro, just cursed my entire bloodline.
Like prestidigitation, you can't tell me that isn't the nerdiest fucking word you've ever
Jonah,
heard.
I don't think prestidigitation.
You don't think so?
I don't think it hits anywhere near as hard as
Tinker check.
Tinker check. Or roll me a tinker check. I use my tinkering tools. Or I'm the dungeon master. Or you're the dungeon master.
I'm the dungeon master.
Hey, he's the dungeon master.
Another example. The other day, someone who was interested in D&D was asking me to explain it, and I used the phrase "theater of the mind."
Oh.
I never realized how silly that sounds until they pointed it out. And the thing is, again, to people who are in D&D,
It's a
theater of the
super-
mind,
super common.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I didn't. I honestly, every single one of these, I never double checked ever. But theater of the mind.
Theater of the mind.
That is.
See, it's weird because I feel like theater of the mind extends into like drama kids as well.
Yes, it
like,
does.
There's a
Yes,
lot of
it
things,
does.
especially when it comes to
I
roleplay.
I feel like if there's a Venn diagram,
Yeah, there's a big Venn diagram between theater kids and
D&D
players. Especially,
we are living proof
especially,
of that.
Especially now.
Mm-mm.
Especially in this day and age where roleplay has become like a very core pillar of D&D. Not that it
Yes.
wasn't always, but I think a lot of
Even
people
more so now.
could, like back then, would play without that much roleplay.
Yeah. Look at this fat little belly, by the way.
Leave him alone.
I once again have
Why
the
have
bomb.
Why have you done that?
Oh no. Oh, I wish I had. I wish I had the other end. Oh.
Well, he loves me more than you, so.
The next one is Grognard.
Do you want to know what? Grognard.
Grognard.
It's an insult that nerds use for nerds.
Yeah, I agree.
And that is
Then that's the nerdiest thing ever.
like when nerds only get the nerd insult, that's when you know it's wrong.
Nerdception. Grognard. You know what?
Man,
I never liked the word grognard.
If I ever in my life use grognard as a legitimate insult,
You have.
please.
You have.
Have I?
You have. Hey, what's your last words?
Please
Bang!
gun me down.
You have. You have absolutely said the word grognard before.
Yeah, but like in a joking term. I haven't used it in like a, I'm having a bit of a one-on-one with somebody.
Oh,
Like
and
in-
you've never gone, you grognard.
Yeah, why don't you fuck
You know
off,
what?
grognard?
I think that's similar to, this might be a personal thing, mouth breather. Because of from Stranger Things, everyone started calling people mouth breathers.
Is that where it came from?
I think so. Well,
Is
that's what popularized it in, the late 2010s.
With the kids.
With the kids.
With the kids.
But grognard, grognard makes
Grognard's rough.
Grognard is rough.
I would say grognard is top. Because it's when you're a nerd getting insulted by other nerds that only a term of or a turn of phrase that a nerd would use
Yeah.
to insult another nerd,
Yeah.
being like, you're this specific type of
Yeah,
nerd,
yeah.
is the nerdiest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah. And the next one is, I don't think you can top the classic, I'm a level 20 wizard. Yeah, I'm a level 20
Because
wizard.
the thing is, it's just like, You tell your nerd friend about your campaign.
Yeah.
Hey, we got a level 20 and I was a wizard. And
Wow.
and your friend's like, whoa.
That's impressive.
That's actually impressive.
That's impressive.
That's like sick. The fact that you went through the whole journey, got to level 20, didn't die.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you're like super strong
Yeah,
now.
You tell your family.
You tell that to
Your
anyone.
grandma?
You tell that to the normies.
Oh, I'm a level 20.
I'm a level
wizard.
20 wizard.
I think the only thing worse is I'm a level 20 sorcerer.
I'm a level 20 sorcerer, and I've got so many sorcery points.
I don't know
I'm
what
a level
it is
20 artificer, and I tinker check all the time.
I don't know what it is about the idea of calling yourself a sorcerer. that just and again the thing
sorcery.
again to me, these are just absolutely totally normal.
Yeah, I'm a level 20 wizard.
I would never think twice about them. But I'm a level 20 wizard.
I'm a level 20 wizard. Hey, why don't you back off? I'm a level 20 wizard.
I'm a level 20 wizard.
Hey.
I'm a wizard.
You want to throw down? Hey, I'm a level 20
I'm
wizard.
a level 20 wizard, actually.
Have you ever heard of Time Stop? Cast it every day.
The next one is saying I have a +3 modifier makes me want to push my glasses up and take my allergy medicine. I have a +3 modifier.
What's wrong with that? You got a +3.
Again, it's just so nerdy.
Why?
I have a +3 modifier.
I got a +3
I
modifier.
have a +3 modifier.
I have proficiency in that saving throw,
yeah,
actually.
I've got a modifier.
I've got proficiency in intelligent saving throws, actually.
I think it's the word modifier. I have a
Why?
modifier. Again, hey,
Hey,
listen.
Margaret. You're a grognard.
Oh, listen, I'm a nerd. I'm a huge. Listen. That's the whole reason we're here, right?
Right.
But just to normies, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, well, I do have a +3 modifier.
I have a +3 modifier.
Hey, chill. He's asked me for this check. I've got a +3 modifier.
And the last couple are I said munch. I said munchkin the other day.
Oh.
And literally everyone looked at me like I was insane.
Munchkin? I used to use that phrase all the time when I was a kid.
What, munchkin?
Yeah.
For what?
Cute things.
Oh, yeah, but I just, I think as an adult because isn't munchkin like another name for like a nerd?
I don't know.
Like another nerd term for nerd?
I don't know.
Or like, I wonder what context they were using the word
Munchkin.
Munchkin.
I like the word munchkin. I think we should normalize munchkin.
And literally everyone looked at me like I was insane.
No! My little munchkins. My little munchkins.
I just love the idea of an adult person saying munchkin and everyone being like,
Shut the
what
fuck
the
up.
fuck are you talking about?
I like the phrase munchkin.
No, yeah.
Which one wins out of them?
What? Well, the last one is
There's one more?
I cast friends. Yeah, how's that working out for you, nerd?
I cast friends? I don't think that's that bad.
No, it's just funny, innit?
I think Grognard is the worst.
Yep, I agree. I think Grognard. I think for someone who is absolutely doesn't know anything about D&D, hearing someone say
I'm a level 20 wizard.
I'm a level 20 wizard or prestidigitation, I think would send a Victorian child into the fucking stratosphere.
That would kill a Victorian child.
A Victorian child hearing the word grognard would send them to an early grave. Certainly.
I think Grognard's the worst.
I think grognard's the worst.
Tinker check.
Tinker check's pretty fucking bad.
I use my tinkering tools.
That's pretty bad.
Tinkering tools.
That's pretty bad. Honestly, that's pretty bad. You know what? I even think something like a blood. I use my blood curse. I think that's a little nerdy as well. It's all nerdy. Honestly,
I mean, yeah, it's all
nerdy.
that's the point. What are some of the my blood curse of bloated agony. God, that's a roughie.
I'm gonna wage.
I'm going to
wage. I'm gonna wage.
I'm about to go into a wage.
Yeah, I'm gonna wage.
I use my bonus action to wage.
Like I just think to someone who does not know D&D and is not that way inclined, I think family members.
Yeah.
Your grandma.
I'm a level 20 wizard.
I'm a level 20 wizard.
I'm a level 20
I'm a level
sorcerer.
20 wizard.
I've got a lot of sorcery points.
I'm a sorcerer.
I've got a lot of sorcery points, actually.
What's your nerdiest terms?
What's your nerdiest term?
What do you think
What's
is
the
nerdiest term in D&D? I think Tinker Check's really high up there.
Tinkering check.
And
My
I think
Tinker's tools.
Grognard. Oh God, God, it makes me feel strange. So that's that. I need to know what your nerdiest terms are.
Yeah, tell me them down below in the comments.
Let me know. Right, the next one, nowhere near as fun, to be honest with you.
No.
The title is Group Imploded Again. I think I'm done with D&D after 31 years.
Wow, okay. That's sad.
I've been doing this for 31 years. I got my start when elves were a class, and I've seen a huge shift in how players act. When I started, we all took turns running the game and had fun regardless of how much it aligned with our own character's arc. Sometimes Dave ran a brutal dragon designed to just chew through us. Other times, Kermit ran a module for us to work through for months. For us to work through for months, and other times Chad ran us through a story about killing the great beast that had more to do with the story than it did with the actual fighting. We always had fun, and I came away from those games with memories that will last a lifetime. Like the time that I strapped wet soap to my feet to skate past a group of enemies at 2 a.m. because we were just that stuck. I've had my fair share of groups rise and fall with some drama and others because lives just drifted apart. What I've seen recently has shaken me to my core and killed D&D. Players who want a whole epic leveled campaign driven off of their character's story, but refuse to show up and expect to take back up the torch of leadership when they've been gone for most of the story. Players who complain that my stories are all the same slop with the same goals repeatedly, but refuse to step up to the DM plate when I ask them to, even when I offered to help them. People have forgotten that this is a game and it's supposed to be fun for everyone at the table and not just you. Not everyone is going to be Matt Mercer. Not every story is going to be YouTube worthy. Sometimes you have to put your effort to invade the lair of a dragon, not just rush in and expect everything to go your way. All of that has killed this for me, and I think after 31 years of playing and DMing, my adventures have finally come to an end.
That's really sad.
I think that is so sad. And you know what? I think this I don't like it when people use Matt Mercer effect as an argument.
Yeah,
I don't like it. I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's
exist.
correct.
Not a thing.
But I think, from what I can guess, OP who has encountered these people who want these epic stories, people who want really character-centric backstories, people who don't want to have to put any work in, people who expect their DM to be Matt Mercer.
To do everything for him,
but
basically.
do not put in any effort to be the players that Matt Mercer have. Like, I feel like this is what comes out of that, right?
Yeah,
Someone who wants everything from their DM without realizing that it's not just the DM, it's about you as well.
And they want it now.
They want it now. They want it yesterday.
They want that like epic crescendo to the campaign.
Yeah.
Without sitting there for 140 sessions.
Yes.
Learning about each other, learning about the world, learning about the bad guys.
Having downtime, having times where they fail, having times where, for lack of better words, it's boring because not much is happening. They have the travel, they have all these things. Like, they only see the clips on TikTok and they go, I want that.
I want that.
I want that.
I want that, and I want it now.
And I want it now.
And
yeah.
it's like, you can have that if you run just like short epic one shots with your friends.
Absolutely.
But like, and they can feel great. But
Absolutely.
You're never,
I agree.
And this is what people always say to us when they're like, how do I give this campaign its epic conclusion?
Yeah.
And you don't just give a campaign an epic conclusion.
No.
A campaign concludes epically.
Because the campaign was epic.
Because the campaign has been you guys going through it for a year, 2 years, 3 years. It's just like, what makes it epic? That.
Yeah.
You come to the end of the adventure.
Yeah.
You've slain all the bad guys. You have like said goodbye to friends. You have welcomed new friends in.
And you've lost.
You've lost. You've won. You've like had a stalemate with an enemy where you've had to let them go and
You've
run
had
away
to run
and chase them down for months. And it's just like the reason the end of the campaign is epic is because you got there.
Totally.
That's what makes it epic.
I completely agree. It's the climb.
And that's the thing. It's just like, I feel like back in the day, OP had a group of people who just understood. And do you want to know what? I do get it. It's like everybody wants to, right, oh man, how do I think about this unbelievably epic story for my next campaign? It's just like, that's fine. And I'm never telling people to not want that.
No.
But you gotta have fun.
And I think the coming up with an epic story is great, but it will only be epic if everyone puts in the effort to get to that point. And there's of course some things in here that I don't necessarily agree with, but I think at the soul of this, what has happened is, as D&D has changed, because it has over 31 years.
Of course it
OP
has.
says they were
Anything
here when
will
elves
change.
were a class,
Anything
right?
will change over 31 years.
Anything will change. And if OP hasn't adapted to that change, I can absolutely see why there would be this lack of understanding around each other. And that's a totally separate thing, right? But I think, again, when OP brings up people like Matt Mercer and says there's players who want all of these things, but then expects to just not put in any effort, I think that is the real Matt Mercer effect. It's not because Matt Mercer is an incredible DM, because he is, and it's not that he's setting unrealistic expectations for DMs. It's that players want it, but do not care to invest any of their time into either helping their DM become that person, helping the table move forward, and
culminate that story together over years.
Exactly. And we say it all the time. If you want your DM to be Matt Mercer, you have to be Travis Willingham. You have to be Laura Bailey.
You have to be every single one of them. You have to put in the same amount of effort. You have to put in the same amount of, it's like, Matthew Mercer's a voice actor. Every single one of them are.
Yeah.
They're all voice actors.
Yeah.
But they're all also deeply invested in every single facet of his campaign.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they are bought in. You can't.
Oh, certainly.
Every single one of them cares so much. And you want to know the one that always surprises me? Travis. Like, when things come up, Travis, like, he's not a note taker or anything, but he's always the one who's like, oh my God, you remember that? And it's like some random thing that Matt mentioned 75 sessions ago briefly. It's just like, they're all so invested. And it's just, I don't believe that the Matt Mercer effect is a thing, personally. It's just like, you can't put one dude's like efforts into bringing TTRPGs back into the spotlight just because he put his game on the internet with his friends.
Yeah.
Like, they asked him to. He didn't go to anyone. They said, hey, do you mind running it on our channel? And he just loves D&D. It's just like, it's not the Matt Mercer effect. I just don't agree that that's the thing. To boil everything that he's achieved down to an effect that you put on a negative, like as a negative,
I know, I agree,
is disrespectful in my opinion.
I think the true Matt Mercer effect is exactly this:
is players wanting things but putting
not wanting to work for it,
but want to do fuck all for it.
And by the way, I get it. You play a game, as OP says, you play the game to have fun. When I say things like, "Oh, you have to work for it," and you don't want to put any effort in. Of course, you have to have fun doing that.
It's like, to put in that work and effort, you have to have fun. And if you're not having fun, then it's just like, maybe the game's just not for you.
Yeah, totally.
It's like, maybe you just enjoy watching D&D and don't actually enjoy playing it, which is a normal thing, by the way.
Yeah.
But I agree. To me, I did get like this. Sort of like, after campaign 1 and half into campaign 2, I was like, man, how do I make this more epic than the last campaign? And then I just stopped and I was just like, why am I doing that? I was like, and I'd like, it's not that I'd fallen out of love, but I was losing a little bit of love for my story and things like that. And I was just like, I just need to have fun.
Yeah.
I was like, if I'm having fun, my story will be good, my NPCs will be good, my bad guys will be good, and I just need to tell a story that I enjoy. And the moment I stop enjoying it, I need to find a reason or a way to enjoy it again.
Yeah.
And like, stop trying to make everything fucking epic. Just have fun.
Yeah, totally.
Just have, it's the reason we play the game.
Yeah.
The epicness will come from the time spent.
Totally.
And just your bad guy isn't epic because they said one cool thing one time.
Yeah.
They're epic because they've been a thorn in the player's side for 75 sessions.
They've hurt people they love. They've destroyed things that they care about. Yeah, totally.
They're epic because you've spent so long chasing them.
Yeah.
Because of cool things they've said the few times you've met them over 30 sessions.
Yeah, and like at the end of our campaign, no spoilers, there was a person who ultimately was just a person.
Yeah.
At the end of it all, they were just a person. And what made it emotional and what made them more than a person to our characters was the fact that they have hurt people that we cared about.
Yeah.
And they have for one of our characters in particular, has basically been haunting them their whole life. And they're just a person when they died, but that's not the point. It's everything that person represented,
Yeah.
you know? And even if they had just said one cool thing, that wouldn't have meant anything.
No, it doesn't matter.
Because of everything that has gone on the whole entire campaign, you know?
And I think that's what, not trying to toot our group's table, is I just make decisions that I think the bad guys would make.
Yeah.
And there's so many times where I do things and everybody at the table's like, well, I think it's like this, and well, I think it's like this. And it's just like, you're drawing interpretations from them because you've spent time in this world, because you've spent time getting, like, living in this world against these bad guys. And it's just like, I just thought this is the way that they would act in that final battle because of everything that they've been through.
Yeah.
They came here to do this thing.
Yeah.
And, like, Abby was like, man, this, and you were like, oh, and then Matthew was like chiming in, and I'm just like, it's like, you just care.
Yeah.
And it's epic because you care. It's epic because we've spent so long here.
It is. Yeah, it is. It is.
And
it is. And the end of the day, the people we fought were honestly just people.
Just people.
They were just people.
We're just people.
And that's, and I think that's why it was so good, because at the end of it all, they were just people, but they meant so many other things.
They were
so many other
people
reasons.
doing things that they believed was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
Whether it is or not in your eyes,
Yeah.
that's what they thought they should do. They were there with the fucking absolute intent of, we're going to win here today, and we're going to change the course of history.
Yeah.
And you were like, well, we're going to stand in your way and we're going to do it this way.
Yeah. And we had exactly the same plans.
And there you go.
Know?
It's just like, it was 36 sessions.
Yeah.
It's like, people would say, man, that's a short campaign. Who fucking cares?
Yeah, totally.
I told everything that I needed to tell in 36 sessions.
Yeah.
And my players bought in and invested. And I think it was an awesome story.
I agree.
I think it concluded perfectly.
I agree.
And everyone enjoyed it.
Yep.
Who fucking cares?
That's all that matters.
Who fucking
cares?
cares?
You know, I think OP makes a really great point. Not every story is going to be YouTube worthy. And I think so many people aspire to be like Critical Role naturally, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, I think in many ways, I would aspire to be Critical Role if I had an actual play. Of course, that's a natural want, right?
Because the production value is amazing. The storytelling is amazing.
Of course, that's
everyone's
that's
bought in. It's
natural.
amazing.
That's very normal and valid. But I think some people go into it with the intention of it being YouTube worthy, as if it matters, as if YouTube is like this. And that is rich coming from us, by the way, sitting on on YouTube as a platform doing this, because anyone who creates content, yes, we highly value.
Yeah, you aspire for it to look a certain way, sound a certain way,
of course,
present a certain.
Yeah,
thing.
you know, you have to understand there is some form of bias and maybe hypocrisy in saying this, but you know. People are like, we want a YouTube worthy story, and it's like, why does that matter? Why? Who? Just YouTube doesn't care.
YouTube doesn't care. You sat in your fucking kitchen,
Yeah.
like rolling a bunch of dice. You sat fucking halfway across the country from each other on webcam. It's like, who cares?
Yeah, how about you? Is it you worthy?
Do you
is
enjoy
your story worthy of you giving it praise?
Every single week that you wake up on that Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday, whatever it is, where it's D&D day, you go, man, I can't wait.
Yeah.
If not, why are you doing it then?
Yeah, and again, obviously I understand everyone has bad days. You can't,
you
can't go
it's-
every time.
Yeah, it's more of a mindset.
Yeah,
it's like,
it is, totally.
man, D&D tonight, I can't wait. Like, we've got that shopping session. I can't wait to just fuck around and then see what's next. Like, what's next in this world for us? Like, what's next in this adventure for us? Like, do you enjoy it?
Do you enjoy it?
Do you
enjoy it? Yeah, totally. And I think a bigger conversation is the effect that social media has had on these things that were private, because I'd be lying. We have literally just done a one shot, and I hope that people enjoyed it, and I hope people cared, and in a lot of ways I hope that it has opened doors for us to do it again, because I believe we have something great, and I would love to share it, and I would like people to enjoy it.
But we've already said to each other on Sunday, like, because obviously we haven't done it, you've already seen it, but if we don't enjoy it, we're not going to do it again.
Yeah, totally. And that's why we don't have an actual play with our friends, because it's something that is so close to us and something that is so special to us. And by the way, I am not saying that anyone who has an actual play, that theirs isn't.
Yeah.
I'm saying people who have an actual play far more resilient than I am.
Yeah.
Like,
But
far more.
we know people in actual plays, and
Yeah.
they said it does it does change it.
Yeah, it does.
And
But, you know, not for the
not for
worst.
everyone,
And not for the
yeah,
worst.
It is just different.
Yeah.
Like, it is different. Of course it is. It's like
yeah.
you've got hundreds of people sometimes watching you.
Yeah.
So of course it's going to be different.
Yeah, of course.
It's strange. But yeah, I think for OP, and it is devastating when, you know, something doesn't give you the joy that it used to.
Totally.
That's just a devastating realization, I think.
I think OP just needs to understand that it's just a matter of play style.
I agree.
I can't help but feel like, because, and you know, maybe this is me just projecting, OP for 31 years has played D&D. I don't know how much they have changed with the times. I do not know how much new information they've taken in about the game, right? Or maybe the attitudes or concept around it. But, you know, I feel like back then the concept that, oh yeah, we just play D&D with our friends, it's so much more than that now. And there's so many more tools available to you to be able to find the right people to play with.
Yeah, and I think you're saying, like, it's so much more than that now, but I don't think it has to be.
No, but I mean, in terms of, like, you have so much more, like, autonomy over who you play with.
I agree.
And how you play.
Yeah, I get that point, yeah.
You can find people who want to play like you. You can have a session 0 and you can talk about all these things. You can try all these things. You know, I don't know. I don't know if this is me assuming. We all know what that does. But
makes an ass out of you and me.
I don't know how much OP knows that it is okay to have different play styles, and you will find people who share your sentiment 100%.
It's like, oh, D&D's changed so much. It's like, but it hasn't.
No.
Like, that is one thing that I do not agree with, and I've never agreed with. It's like, man, D&D's changed so much. It's just like, has it?
No,
like,
it's
because if you play with the same 6 people that you've always played with since the 80s,
you don't have to change anything.
Nothing's changed for you. It's
No,
like,
you don't have
the
to.
game has never changed.
No.
You can still run your 3rd edition,
Yeah.
your 3.5, your 1st edition, your THAC 0. You can run whatever you want with whoever you want, however you want. That is the thing about D&D. It's just like, yeah, we follow a specific rule set sometimes.
Yeah.
But the game, the story, the people are whoever we want them to be.
Yeah, totally.
So it's like, if there's something not right for you and something that's not tickling that, or scratching that tickle or whatever it is, then change something.
Scratching that tickle.
Ever get tickly and scratch it?
Munchkin.
Little munchkin. Little grognard. Yeah, it's just like, oh man, the game's changed so much. It's like, it hasn't.
No.
More people know about it, so that is going to in turn have more play styles and more variety and more of everything in the game because more people know about it. I understand that, but at the heart and soul of it, you will still find people who want to play in the same way that you want to play.
Yeah.
And who value the same things that you want to value, like turning up every week.
Yeah, and
that is a problem. I would like.
I agree.
Because we've got because it's online and you don't have to. A lot of games are online and you don't have to turn up in person and things like that. A lot of people do flake out more. Like turning up every week, just having fun.
Yeah.
Not just walking into a dragon's lair. I get it. It's just like, oh, I want to fight a dragon. It's just like, you want to fight a dragon? That's not an easy thing to do.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I agree. I agree. It's all instant gratification, and it's. I think at its core, it's not sharing the same values in D&D, you know? Because the people who want to walk into a dragon's lair and slay a dragon, they're very valid in wanting that.
Yeah.
Like, there will be tables where they can absolutely do that.
There'll be one-shots where it's a dragon's lair one-shot.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. Like, no one is wrong, but I really hope OP understands that they can find... This is just purely different expectations, different values, and I really hope that this doesn't stop OP after 31 years playing D&D. I hope that
you still play D&D.
I hope that they will find people who want to play like them. 100%. However it is, they will find people.
When you've played a number of games that have fallen through and not done what you want them to do, you feel a little bit bottom of the barrel.
Yeah, of course.
You feel a little bit like, man, it's never going to be the same again. It is. It is going to be the same again. Like, you just had a few roughies.
Yeah, totally.
But we will persevere and we will find our way through.
Oh, I'm bothering him.
Well, leave him.
I'm scratching his chicken
don't
legs.
Scratch his chicken leg then.
But I want to pat him. I want to touch him.
Wow, we talked about that for
ages. Oh my god. for absolute
Wow.
ages.
We've been talking
so,
about that for
so long.
so long.
All right. A slightly more lighthearted one. Would saying my paladin oath before every fight annoy you? I am new to D&D and role-playing, and I would love to hear your opinion. My first character is a paladin, and I will take my oath tomorrow. I'm very excited, and I wrote an oath for my character. I'm considering saying my oath every time a fight is starting.
Okay. What's the oath?
Would you consider that annoying?
Do we know what the oath is?
Yes.
God, how long is the oath?
My name is Bastoon, the Holy Knight. I am the last one you will ever fight. You are the evil that I shall ignite with the power of my divine smite. Yeah! And then they have an abbreviated version. Oath when I'm surprised. Night, fight, smite. And then P.S. I know it's best to discuss with my group, but I guess this is my way of preparing for that.
I think that...
I think this is very cute and sweet.
I think it's extremely cute and sweet.
Yeah.
I think it gives the same energy as...
Team Rocket?
It gives the same energy as I say all of my somatic components in Latin,
yes, in
or whatever
Latin.
it is.
I do my chant in Latin.
I chant my spells in Latin.
Yes.
Go on, Margaret, do the...
Lorem ipsum ipsuve.
And everyone was like, that's not Latin, right?
Yeah.
It's like...
Yeah, I knew.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah, shut up.
Yeah, hey, I knew that.
I think that... I think that... Look, I think saying it the first time we get the oath is sick.
Yeah.
I think that every turn, maybe saying a line of it.
Yeah.
And I don't know, say it goes 3 lines and you've finished it, it would be sick.
Yeah.
I think every single time combat starts, you saying it could wear thin a little bit.
Yes.
I think it could wear thin
agree.
a little bit.
But, you know what? This is, OP says by their own admission, I'm new to D&D, I'm new to role-playing. These are the types of thing, and I've said this so many times, on paper, your character doing something is really fucking cool, right?
Yeah, and then when you action it,
and not to say that this isn't cool. I'm not saying that.
It might not
but
hit quite as hard as you think.
You know what? Every time as well.
Yeah.
Every time that there's combat, saying that every time. Yeah, certainly. Probably. Yeah, certainly. You
It's
do
probably
anything
gonna
every
wear
time,
thin.
it's just going to wear thin. But I think this is a great like teaching point for the OP to be like, you can just say that you say it,
Yeah.
because saying your paladin says their oath, combat starts. My paladin grabs their sword and shield and says their oath.
Says their oath.
That's role playing.
Or you could say a line of it.
Yeah.
It's my first turn in combat. I say my name and that my oath is this. Boom.
Yeah.
Next round in combat, I say the next line of my oath.
Yeah.
It's like, it's just like, it's so small that people wouldn't care.
Yeah.
I think.
I honestly, because it's so short, not like, 2 minutes of Latin, I think you probably could actually say this at the top of every combat and it'd be fine.
Again, the only thing is that and this is just me, that it may lose a little bit of weight and shine.
Yeah, if you say it every time.
If you say it every
certainly.
single time. That's the thing for me. It's just like, I always have these character concepts where I'm like, oh yeah, and I'm going to do this and I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
And then you get into the campaign, it's just like, it almost becomes so much of a given that I don't need to say it anymore.
I say my thing.
Because, I say my thing.
Yeah.
It's like, I recite my oath.
Yeah.
It's like the first time I do it, I actually say my oath. The next time, I begin to recite my oath.
Yeah.
And then eventually, it's like I stop saying it because everybody knows that's what I do when I get into combat.
Totally. And you know what? OP says, like, I'm new to D&D and role-playing. And again, I think role-playing is this thing that's super mystified,
weird,
right?
yeah.
Like, so mystified. It's like, oh, yeah, you have to put on a voice and you have to say these things in character. And there's a huge distinction between you and your character, which there is to a degree.
You don't know why it would maybe get a little much or maybe lose its impact by saying every time.
Yeah.
It's strange because it's just like because you've never been in that situation, role-playing as a different character,
Totally.
as a paladin that like smites things on the battlefield.
Totally.
It's like you don't understand why it might just like not work out perfectly every single time.
You know what? I think it's even beyond that. I think, again, role-playing can be as simple as saying, yeah, my character says their oath.
They say their oath.
And that's role-playing.
It's like, to me, if somebody was so on it to say that every time combat starts, to be like, I like that.
Yeah.
I would really like that.
I agree.
I think that's really cool.
I think that's a really great way to keep the essence of this without having to physically say it every single time, Like, and again, I don't think there's anything wrong with saying it, but I think
I think just as human nature, it would lose when you it's like God, like when you go on a roller coaster the first time, it's like, and then you go on it the second time, it's like, oh, and then you do it again.
Yeah.
And so it's just like when you perform every single night.
Yeah.
Like the second show syndrome that I
Yeah,
was talking
yeah,
about. It's
yeah.
just like you don't have that absolutely insane adrenaline from doing it the first time.
Yeah.
That it does just like lose its shine a little bit.
Yeah.
Performing.
Yeah.
Anything.
Yeah.
As you do it, repetition just makes it lose its shine. It just does.
Yeah. And I think it's clear that OP hasn't done this in situ yet. Over and over and over again, you know? Then I think it's very sweet and very fun that they came up. Oh, is it here?
Scrungly.
I think it's very cute and very sweet that they came up with their own oath. I love the dedication to it, and I think you can have the same dedication just saying, yeah, my paladin says their oath.
Every single combat.
Yep.
The first time you ever want to say it, I think you say it.
Yep.
And then, you can keep saying it, but if it does, you just say, my character says their oath at the beginning of combat.
Totally. All right, this next one. The title is There's a Vampire? Been playing Curse of Strahd with my group for nearly a year now. Reached the final fight against Strahd. After several rounds of combat, Strahd gets low and takes on his vampiric form. And the ranger of the party, who hasn't missed a single session, leans forward and in shock yells, "He is a vampire!"
Oh my fucking God.
Strahd has bitten many people in front of the group, and apparently they thought it was just a kink. Does anyone else have players that pay no attention? Do I need to bring ADHD meds for my party as snacks?
No. It's not that they pay no attention.
No.
Like, look, some people need you to tell them.
Yeah.
Some people need you to literally say, he bites this person's neck with 2 sharp fangs and drinks the blood.
Yeah.
You realize his skin is pale.
Yeah.
He gives off an undead aura.
Yeah.
He is a vampire.
Yeah, and you know what? I think we all hear Curse of Strahd and we go, "Oh, vampire."
It's Strahd, yeah,
It's
vampire.
vampire.
It's a vampire.
But if I have no idea if this person has ever
They
heard
don't
of
know the
Strahd,
law,
played Strahd before, it's like in The Sixth Sense, where it's like you watch the movie. Spoilers for
a like 30-year-old movie.
You watch the movie once. There's a big plot twist that dude is dead, it changes everything. You watch it again with that knowledge, right?
And you'd like, oh yeah, of course he is.
But then someone watching it the first time who doesn't know that plot twist, how would they ever know? Obviously there is hints, right?
Yeah.
But some people do not read between the
when
lines.
He sucks the blood.
Sucks their blood.
He sucks on that neck.
Yeah. And I understand the correlation between someone biting someone's neck and then being a vampire, but I understand that.
Yeah, but this is the thing, like, and I've mentioned this many, many, many times. Like when I was beginning as a dungeon master, I was trying to be very covert with my story.
Yes.
I wanted to be very subtle. I didn't want to say things out loud. I wanted to tell you a story through like you piecing these things together without me needing to say it. And I think you understood quite well. Josh, maybe a little bit. Matthew, not at all.
Yeah.
He needed me to
he needs clear like story beats.
And the thing is, so now I will tell the story in the way that I love telling a story by like giving you bits of information and letting you piece things together. And somebody will say it out loud and Matthew will go, and it's okay now because you will actually say it out loud for him to hear.
Totally, yeah. But that's just knowing each other.
But look.
Has there been a situation?
Has
there been 2 situations?
Was there a situation during my campaign that is called the Everflame, her sacrifice, where a religious cult almost worships a flame and sacrifices things to this flame that was bestowed to them by this god.
Is the whole campaign's logo a flame and a brazier?
Yeah, and like everyone, the people are called flame callers and things like that. And did we get about 15 to 20 sessions into the campaign, and I mention the Everflame, which is the flame bestowed by the gods. And did Matthew go,
What flame?
what flame?
What flame?
I've never heard of flame.
We've not heard of a flame.
We've not heard of a flame before this, have we?
And we were
And
all like,
everyone just turned to him.
huh.
Huh?
Huh.
Some people, and the thing is like the thing is at the end you're like, do my players just not pay attention? Matthew pays loads of attention.
Matthew cares deeply.
Deeply. Loves it. Lives and dies for the campaign.
Yeah.
Loves it. Turns up every week. Excited every time it's cancelled. He's devastated.
Yeah.
He loves it.
Yeah.
Just a little forgetful.
Yeah. The other one was in campaign 2 with literally
Oh my
the
God.
children of Loki, Fenrir, giant fucking wolf.
Fenris wolf. This larger than life, mountain-sized wolf.
that we had always talked about.
Yeah.
Always.
It was a big part of the campaign.
and
from
we were-
number one.
We were in the arc where we were going to hunt down Fenrir, and Jack mentions you see the wolf, and Matthew was like,
What wolf?
"What wolf?
What wolf?
What wolf?
Like, what do you mean? What
wolf?
wolf?
Oh
What do
god!
you mean? What wolf?
But you know, to be fair, in his defense, with Fenrir, we only really referred to Fenrir by name.
Yeah.
We never said
The wolf.
or Fenris wolf. Really,
Yeah.
we just said Fenrir. So I understand that more than the flame thing. To
I
be
just like
honest
more the flame
with
thing. Do you want to know what the flame thing? Even I was like, mouth agape. I was like, Are you okay?
But that's not because he doesn't care,
It's not because he
and it's
doesn't
not
care.
because he doesn't listen.
No.
He deeply cares.
Yeah.
Deeply.
He just forgets.
And you know, it
Everything.
isn't that he doesn't pay attention, because he pays very much a lot of attention. And I with OP, to circle it all back around, I don't think it's a case that the player hasn't been paying. At least I'd like to hope so, right? I think it's just that it wasn't spelled out in big flashy letters that Strahd was a vampire, which sounds, you know, almost ridiculous to us, knowing Curse of Strahd.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
again, you know, that's the curse of knowledge.
Curse of knowledge. Because
Yeah.
we know that Strahd is a vampire.
Yeah, totally.
But if you have never said that and they're
Yeah.
just biting them.
And no one's out loud said that-
Vampire.
no one's physically said vampire out loud. You know, like I
He's a vampire?
you know, me as a person, I read between the lines so much that sometimes, in fact, I'm not good at reading between the lines, but I'm such a conspiracy theorist.
That's what you do.
Sometimes I make conspiracies out of nothing, but I would have worked out that Strahd was a vampire if I didn't know.
I mean, as soon as they bite their neck,
Yeah, I'm like, oh, they're a vampire.
Oh my God,
I
they're a vampire.
see, I
Yeah.
see. But yeah, I think this is a perfect case of just assuming that everyone knows. You know, like the unspoken thing. Like it's like, yeah, obviously he's a vampire.
Yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
And then never actually confirming it. You know, but
Yeah.
it's one of those things.
Just one of them things. Just one of those things.
I think that's quite funny. Have you ever had a moment like that in the game where players been like, "Oh my god," when it's again an unspoken thing where it's like, "Yeah, obviously."
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, like,
Come
obviously.
on.
All right, this last one before we get into the art it's simply titled "A Player Lied to Me." Hey everyone, I hate to post this, but I don't know what to do, and I'm hoping for some more seasoned DMs that can help me out. About 3 to 4 sessions ago, my players had a hard-fought combat battle that ended with our warlock being killed by a cleric accidentally, and our cleric was able to revive the warlock and all was well again. Until just the other day, my cleric player informed me that they didn't actually have the spell slot available at the time, and the warlock should have been dead. The cleric is my most seasoned player, who has been a rule of helpful tool in me helping finding my footing as a first-time DM. But they straight up admitted to lying to me. I don't know how to go about handling the situation, given that this person is a good friend of mine. And a quick edit. The player knew they didn't have a spell slot, and in the moment, they told me that they did. I don't want to punish the player. I just want some insights into how I could go about this, because I haven't had this sort of thing happen at my table so far. God, this is such a rough one.
You know, I can tell you exactly what's happened here. The cleric has not realized how low somebody was, fired off an AoE,
Yeah.
killed the warlock.
Yeah.
The warlock's failed the death saving
Yeah.
throws or something like that. And in the absolute panic and maybe the understanding that I'm only going to fire this AoE off because I know I've got Revivify, and then realizing I don't have that, and then being
Yeah.
like, well, I'm not saying anything.
Yeah.
I fucked up here,
Yeah,
and I'm just gonna say I do.
totally.
And the thing is, if you just go to the dungeon master and you're like one-on-one, just be like, hey, I didn't realize I didn't have the spell slot. I fucked up. I really don't want like this character's blood on my hands. Is there a way that you could divine me a extra spell slot from my god or something?
Yes, totally. Yes, totally. And you know, I think obviously people were like, oh, maybe they just didn't realize they had the spell slot, but they very much knew they didn't, and they did it anyway. I think it is slightly different because the cleric is the person who killed the warlock.
Yes, that's it.
You know, I think this would. And I don't, you know what? I don't know if I can quantify why I think it's different.
It is different because if somebody else had done it, it's like, you know, when you make the mistake,
Yeah.
but you don't have the remedy, but you lie about having it.
Yeah.
But somebody else makes the mistake, it's like you don't feel obligated
You don't
to
have
lie
the
about
onus of it
because it's not
yeah.
your problem.
True. Yeah, true.
It's different because you're the one that made the mistake.
Yeah.
And you're the one who's supposed to have the remedy.
To be able to rectify
but
it.
you don't. But if somebody else does it and you don't have the remedy, it's just like, well, that's just on you. It's like that's a breakdown in communication.
I could not imagine the guilt of any of us if we like killed one of our party members and then couldn't do anything
Couldn't
about
do
it.
anything about it. Didn't have the spell slot, didn't have the crystal.
Like, yeah, I don't know what we would have done. Like, I wouldn't have lied about it, but I certainly would have come to you after the fact and been like, look, this is going to kill me, Margaret. This is going to kill me, Margaret, let alone my character. Like, is there something we can do?
Yeah.
But what do you do after the fact?
I think at that moment where you realize you don't have the spell slot, you just go over to the dungeon master, say, hey, 2 seconds outside.
Yeah.
Or like, hey, can I just whisper something to you? Can I talk over text with you just quickly?
Yeah.
Hey, I don't have a spell slot.
Yeah.
Like, and I have fucked up here, and I really, really need your help.
Yeah.
Like, what are you gonna do? What are your plans? And is there anything that you can do for me?
And then I wonder, I think it's also different if it was, this whole thing wasn't as contrived as that, right? It was, they sent off an AoE not knowing that the warlock was going to be in it.
Yeah.
And then they killed the warlock completely by accident without even having the forethought of, I can revivify anyone if they get hurt. Accidentally just make, because it happens, by the way. Sometimes it happens. Well, no, I guess, no, it does. Of course it does. Of course it happens where accidentally, if maybe it's a gamble and you're not sure if you're going to do it or
and
not.
you gotta like roll a check to see if they're in, they're out.
Totally. Like, I can see that happening. I think even then it's still different. I think even then, if you've accidentally done it, but if
it was a chance and you took the chance without having the spell slot, I think to me personally, the moment, if you didn't realize you didn't have the spell slot and did it and then went, oh shit, or if you did it knowing you didn't have the spell slot, are two different things.
Yeah.
If it was an accident that you didn't realize, or if it was intentional and you just lied afterwards, they're two different things to me.
I think it's the latter that has happened here.
What? Done it intentionally knowing you didn't have a spell slot and just been like, I just cast Revivify.
Yes.
See, that's bullshit
That's,
to me.
I think, exactly what has happened here. Based on what OP has said, like, OP has said that Warlock, by accident, killed the Cleric, and then...
No. Cleric by accident killed the Warlock.
Yes. Cleric by accident killed the Warlock,
yeah.
And then the Cleric went over, revived the Warlock, and then after the fact was like, hey...
I didn't have a spell slot.
I know I didn't have it. And OP has clarified, saying that Cleric player absolutely knew they didn't have the spell slot, but they told me that they did.
So, no, but my thing is, it's like a chicken and the egg thing.
Yeah.
Is if you accidentally killed them and then looked down at your spell list and was like, I don't have a 3rd level spell left, fuck, I thought I did, I'm just going to lie. Because I only did this thing because I thought I had the spells left.
Yeah.
Is different to... I know I don't have the spells. I'm going to do it anyway and then just lie. It's like the moment where you checked for Revivify and knew you didn't have it or thought you did but didn't is where...
I think you're not accounting for the 3rd option here. The 3rd option of it genuinely, under some freak circumstances, was completely an accident. They never considered Revivify. They never considered the fact that their friend could die.
Yeah.
And then it happened for whatever reason,
Yeah.
right? And then they go, well, I'm going to Revivify them, and I know I don't have the
It's
spell
like-
slot. I think that's the third option that
And-
I think might have been... we don't know. Hey, we don't know.
We don't know. But in that moment, instead of just lying about the spell slot, whether you knew if you didn't have it, whether you intentionally knew you didn't have it,
Yeah.
whether it was an accident or not,
Oh,
in that
dude.
moment, just going to your Dungeon Master and being like, I need your help.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I don't want their blood on my hands.
Totally.
It was a mistake.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like, just instead of lying,
Yeah.
just telling your Dungeon Master you fucked
Like
up.
in that moment
Yeah.
as well, totally. And the thing is that absolutely there's some DMs that wouldn't let you. There is absolutely some DMs who would be like, look, that's what happened.
Yeah.
Like, no, you
The
you
chips
can't.
fall where they may.
absolutely. And that, you know, I'd like to think that is something that would have been discussed in session 0,
Yeah.
being like, if you die, you die. That's the end of it.
Yeah.
You know, but in a game more like ours, right, where to be fair, some people are like, yeah, if I die, I die, and that's fine. Some of the people
Mm.
are not that cut and dry,
No.
seriously, and I it's like I can see it in the stars. If this happened, you know, there would be everyone bargaining. Everyone,
Please.
we would be like, don't have the spell slots. Can I sacrifice a level in this? Can I give up this? Can I
give
give
up this
this?
ability? Can I give up my level in this? Can I sacrifice
There
my...
would be some sort of batshit bargaining.
Yeah. And like, there was a moment like that in this
There
campaign.
was a moment
but
like that
I
in
can't
this
talk about it
campaign.
yet because we haven't got to it on Patreon, where there was people begging
Yeah.
for something to happen,
Yeah.
and graciously, as the Dungeon Master I am,
Mm-hmm.
I agreed,
Mm-hmm.
but there were
Consequences.
3 consequences.
There was consequences. Yeah.
and
certainly.
you know that will come to pass when there doesn't storytelling.
Yeah. Yeah. Indeed. And yeah, I think the thing is, what would you do now if this was you?
What would I do now?
Yeah, and
I
one of us, and me, for example, I killed someone. I knew I didn't have the spell slot, but I just said I did, and I did it. Then I came to you after the fact, and I was like, I lied to you. I didn't have the spell slot, and they should be dead.
I would. It depends how you would want to play it out. Me personally, I would just say, well, it is what it is. There's nothing I can do about it now.
Yeah.
Because, like, it's unfair on the Warlock.
Yeah.
It's unfair on the rest of the group.
Yeah.
It's like, you know, I would probably say, don't ever lie to me again.
Yeah.
And I would say, if you do lie to me again, you're out of the group.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if it were me and if you were down for it, I would have it be this. I would like it to be a roleplay recompense.
Yes.
I would have like the god come to you and be like, you tapped into power that wasn't yours.
Yeah.
It's like
yeah.
you're not ready for
Yes.
that.
Totally.
Like you don't have that yet.
Yeah.
You're not at that point in your journey or something like that.
Yeah.
And maybe just give you like a slap on the wrist
Yeah.
narratively.
Totally. Not mechanically.
And maybe have like this tenuous like relationship
Yeah,
between
yeah,
the two
yeah.
for a bit until they like find a way to like prove themselves or something
Yeah.
like that. That's because I like to do those things in story.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. And you know what? I don't even know. I think I would very much be like, yep. Well, it's happened, hasn't it? There's nothing we can do now.
Yeah,
like,
I think.
please don't do it again.
Yeah,
Like,
I would say that, but I would also maybe be like, is there a way? Like, can we address this like?
in game somehow.
In-game.
Totally. Yeah. Totally.
Because that's the way I like to do it.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
And that's the like I like everything to like have in game.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't have to be a consequence. In game like narrative storytelling purposes.
I agree. And I think, honestly, the fact that it was a friend who was killed,
Yeah.
I do think it makes a difference
I
in
agree.
clouding this person's judgment
Yeah.
for what they would and wouldn't do.
Yeah.
You know? Would they have done this if it wasn't them who killed them?
Yeah.
You know? Like, I think that has a huge stake to play
Yeah.
in all of this, to be honest with you.
Just like promise me that you won't do it again.
Yeah.
And if you're down with it, we'll have a little bit of narrative thing for
Yeah.
it.
And I think anyone who would be in this situation, the best thing to do is be honest in that
Yeah.
moment and
100%.
say, is there anything we can do? You know, of course, it is completely your DM's prerogative to say no to those requests.
Yeah.
It is. But I think I'd like to think I know you would absolutely. You've let us bargain things.
Yeah, I like the idea of a bargain. I like the idea of that's what it's about, though. To me, like Dungeons and Dragons, this is just me, is about like, you know, these big moments, man. We came this whole way to like get our friend back. It's like we clearly want it to happen. We want nothing more than in this moment to bring them back, but the dice just don't want that to happen.
Yeah.
Okay, then what do we do?
Yeah.
Which devil do we fucking make a deal with right now?
Yep.
Which god do we have to fucking devote ourselves to?
Yep.
What do we have to give up? It's just like, that's story. That's story to me. It's like, do I like the idea of if the players are down with it, the dice just say no. It's just like, and they're like, well, that's just the way it is.
Totally.
Fine. But if your players are like desperate and they're like, I'll do anything. It's just like, well, if you'll do anything, tell me.
Yeah.
Like, tell me what you'll do.
Yeah.
Who do you reach out to?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, honestly, there is something poetic about the dice just not agreeing with it, too.
I agree.
I think there's something poetic about that as well. You know, again, I come from a huge bias perspective of what happened in our campaign and us purely just not accepting what the outcome of something was, and us being like, please,
you said
there has to be something. And God, trust me, we tried everything.
The dice said no, and you said
over and over and over.
And you said not good enough.
Yeah.
And like,
and people really made some big sacrifices, or at least offered to make some really big sacrifices in that moment. And we did. There was sacrifices were made. There was a big change in our gameplay style that changed. And two people it wasn't as dramatic, thankfully, as what they were initially offering, I think. No. But there was still as we've honestly just learned at the end of the campaign, there was some big things that could have come out of that. You know, sorry, it's so cryptic. Yeah. We'll get to it.
Well, yeah.
Definitely in the next update.
100%.
Definitely.
We'll get to that bit.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this is such a hard situation for everyone to be in.
It is. I think unless you truly understood the mindset of the cleric and the sequence of events that happened, that's the only way you could like deliver judgment on the situation.
Yeah, totally.
And also, depending on how the dungeon master and the player are okay, like playing it out, like, just please don't lie to me again. Like, we all play by the same rules. And if you want, we could narratively do a thing. If it's laying heavy on your soul, let's just do this like narrative thing. I'm not going to punish you too hard, but it would be cool to have at least like a don't stretch yourself beyond your means sort of like roleplay thing.
I think the best thing in that moment, it was just to be honest about it. Honestly, 100%. Just to be honest about it.
Just say I've not got a spell, but I fucked up. I need your help.
Yeah. Oh my God, I've killed a party member here, and it was an accident, and I didn't mean to. So, oh my God, you know, I think that is the differentiator in my opinion. I mean, what do you think? What God, what would you have done? What would you have done? Like, would you have lied?
Yeah.
I think there's a part of me that probably would have.
And there's a part of me that probably would have.
I think there is.
I think there's a part of me I don't think I would have.
No, but I would have heavily considered it. If not done it, I don't know.
I would have. Honestly, I'd have got up from the table, walked over to the dungeon master, and whispered in their ear, I fucked up.
Yeah, same.
I've fucked up here.
Same. I would have as well.
I need your help.
Yeah, same. I would have. And you know what? I can't say in good faith that I wouldn't have lied. I can't say that. I don't know. I really do not know.
Depends who it was.
Yeah. All right, the last two are some art. Sorry, this has been a slightly longer. You know what? We talked about that second one for a billion years.
I know.
An actual billion years. So this first piece of art, this is from, hold on, I'll write this down. This is from the Paper Mage. They have a Patreon. I am not certain if it is the Paper Mage, but it will all be linked down below.
Yeah.
And it's, first of all, it's a paper bust of a D&D character.
Insane.
How, like, instead of a mini, granted, they say that this is too big to be a mini on a battle map.
What? So it's physically made?
It's physically made.
They've not drawn this?
They've printed it out. They've drawn it, printed it out, and then
sculpted
like
it?
origami. Yeah.
No way.
No.
What? The sweet man only likes me.
I think it's because the iPad's here. No.
Oh, it's because his dad's over here.
No. Oh, dear me.
Isn't it? It's because your daddy's over here, isn't it?
The post reads as, I thought this would be a fun first post. I'm pretty new to D&D, started a few years back. More as a
That's not
bedtime
pretty
routine. More as a bedtime routine for the kid than anything serious. I would just make up a story and we would roll dice and have a laugh.
Sick.
Lately, you decided to get more serious about it. I even brought my mum in to give it a proper shot. It's been an interesting mess for sure, but it was fun. Anyway, even though I'm new to it, it's been pretty adjacent to my career in a way. I have been a character artist since the late 90s and designing fantasy characters as just another Tuesday, really.
Wow.
These past few months, I've decided to combine two fun things together. Ever since the kid has been young, we have been creating small paper toys that we can cut out and assemble together. So I thought I would go a step further this time and create something more fantasy-like. And this is the result for now. I have a few more I can share if anyone's interested.
Please.
They have enough detail to be interesting without being too complicated where you need a phone book of instructions to make it. They're too big to be minis, sadly, but I don't know. I think it's a nice showcase for your character.
I think it's insane.
Should I create a small version to be usable on a map? But I fear they would be lacking in detail or shape.
They'd probably lack a little bit of detail going that small.
Yeah. I'm still not sure if I want to make a big library of characters or make a smaller bus to fit on a map or just hide them in a box and forget I ever made this. But anyway, I thought I would share.
So,
These...
when you showed me,
Yeah.
I thought it was a drawing.
I see.
And I was like, man, that's such a cool style. I love that so much. It's so like fun, almost like Fantastic Mr. Fox
yeah,
or something like that.
Yeah.
Like stop motion. It looked so real.
Yeah.
But it's
a photo of a real, genuine printed thing that has been sculpted. Yeah, from paper. Literally, it's a paper bust. Yeah.
Wow.
How incredibly cool. I actually checked.
Insane.
They have done a few more as well.
Have
They did like a tiefling one. They did like a wizard looking one. Level 21.
I'm a level 20
Level
wizard.
20 wizard.
I'm a little bit of a level 20
If I remember,
wizard.
I'll send you the photos and put them in. But I just think these are so
They're insane.
fucking cool.
I love that so much. I love that. That's so creative.
Isn't
I am
it?
so jealous.
I know, isn't it?
I wish I could do things like that.
I completely agree. How cool would it be to have like a physical
Bust.
and it looks massive. They're
looks-
holding it in their hand. It looks like this big. It looks huge. How cool would it be to have one of these of your character? Unreal.
That to like put it like
Yeah.
up somewhere.
Yeah, unreal.
Oh my god.
So
That would
I
be
think this
so
is
good.
so innovative and
It
cool.
It's I've never seen anything like it.
Neither have I. I think this is
Personally.
fucking awesome. Again, this has been made by the Paper Mage. They have a Patreon. Of course, we'll link everything down below. I think they have the files available on Patreon. I could be completely
Yeah,
paraphrasing.
but then I gotta
there.
fold it.
That
would be rock hard.
I think that's the fun. That's part of the fun is folding everything. I think
Insane talent. Talent
incredible.
out
Yeah.
of the fucking out of reach for
Yeah,
me.
out of the butthole.
Yeah.
Yep. I said it.
Right out of the butthole.
Right out of the butthole. Yeah, really cool.
Wow.
Paper Mage, that is absolutely incredible.
I love that so much.
Yeah, really cool.
I love that you're doing it with your family as well. Let's go.
Yeah, I think that's so much fun just for
That's
your kid
sweet.
to be like, oh yeah, and then this. I really, really hope you make more, and I hope this becomes a resource that people use. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, so do I.
Then the last one is the title is simply The Vengeful Queen, and this has been done by Atomic Spaghetti.
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 Somebody touch my spaghetti.
We will link all their socials below, and look at how incredibly cool this artwork is.
Wow.
Like,
Wow, wee, wow.
you know what? I don't know what it is. It's something about like the blue and the crown and the chains.
The chins?
It's the I don't know what it is.
It's the chins.
It's the hey. It's
And
the
do
chains.
you know what? It's the colour.
It's the color.
The
It's color. The
ice
electric
blue.
blue.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck. Let's go.
I don't know what it is. I love this piece of artwork. And the description is, let's welcome the spooky season. I, for one, conjured up this undead ghost type creature. She's supposed to be the spectre of a tyrannical queen who got executed with that crown-like torture device on her head and is now back for revenge. It shows a lot when I paint a subject that I really like. I completely agree.
Yeah.
I'm getting closer to fantasy horror in my line of work, and I'm really excited for what's to come. There's a really big story behind this one, and how would you use such a figure in your campaigns?
See, I think there's one thing that I don't care about personally. I don't care about having art of my characters because I never have any characters.
Yes.
But if I could have art of bad guys,
Yeah, totally.
Oh my god,
Totally.
Like, I would live, laugh, love to be able to do two things in my life: be a true cartographer and be able to like build out a wonderful, beautiful world map.
Yeah, totally.
Like on like this like dark brown parchment.
Yeah, totally.
With, like, you know, like those Lord of the Rings maps.
Yeah,
where they're like
with a
ink
quill
written.
pen.
Oh my god, like die for that, but also be able to bring my when I explain my bad guys to people, pull up an image that I've drawn.
Yeah, I know.
And them all be like,
I know.
But I can't because I smell.
Yeah. No, amen to that.
Yeah.
Same, man. Again, I've said it so many times. If I could draw, it would be so over.
It'd be over.
It would be so.
It would be over
fucking over
for everyone. Everyone,
honestly,
everyone would die.
Yeah, for everyone. It's good night.
It's good night.
sayonara. It's
Big kiss,
farewell.
good night.
Oh,
Mwah.
absolutely.
See you later.
Like, I just think that this is just such an, and I agree with what OP says. Like, you can really tell when they do a piece that they love, and I agree. I think this is such a cool piece of artwork.
Second it.
And there's so many things you could do with it story-wise as well. I think so cool. So please go take a look at Atomic Spaghetti. I don't think that I don't think that is actually their username, like, on socials.
But that's where the post came from on Reddit.
That is where the post came from on Reddit.
We'll drop links below to any artist stations or something like that.
Indeed.
If
please,
there is any.
Please go share some love, and the same to the Paper Mage. And that's it. Hey, slightly longer episode, sorry. I mean, not that massively long, to be honest with you. Not in the grand scheme of how long our episodes have been.
Thanks so much for being here.
Yeah. Wish Jack a happy birthday down below.
Yeah, if you got here, say happy birthday.
Smelly.
Yeah, happy birthday, Smelly. Down in the comments. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the bell if you haven't. All goes a million miles away to help the channel. Comment down below. Happy birthday, Smelly. Go and check out some merch at www.eldritchpodblast.co.uk. Heavy metal t-shirt. Poggers. You can go and pick up some merch like this over there. Patrons get 10% off.
Yes, we will be releasing Pride merch.
Yep.
Very soon.
Very soon.
We'll let you know.
Very soon. 10% of that will go to charity as well. Check out our Patreon in the comments. Like Margaret said, exclusive content down there. Moon Druids get campaign updates. Entities get campaign updates. And they get advice streams as well. Thank you so much for being here. It's been great to see you. I love you.
I love you.
Bully loves you.
Wherever he is.
We have been the Eldritch Podblast, and we're going to see you on Thursday. Bye!
And another huge thank you to our patrons for all of your support. A big shout out to our fellow entities.
Hoobs.
Ariel.
Tula.
Runarian.
Arkham Labs Cosplay.
Maddie. Luna.
Teddysaurus.
Caspian. J-Spot.
Ultrafail.
Dallin M.
Sleepy.
Joe Dragonlord 2.
Alistar.
Lawkeeper Society.
Ricky B.
Danny Phantom.
Catherine.
Faustskin.
Azuriel.
Panda Queen Plays.
Xylo Boy.
Lucas Iapetis.
Luna River. Christomancy.
The tacos are here.
Gavin.
Leah. Thank you again for all your support.
And if you too would like to become a patron of the Eldritch Podblast, check the link below.